First things we do is we check to make sure we're not on mute. Second thing we do is say, welcome to Comics Covered. I'm John, the co-founder and CEO of CoverPrice.com, and this handsome devil over here is Matt DeVoe, the CCO and other co-founder of CoverPrice.com. This guy. Welcome to Comics Covered, our weekly show where we sit back and just kind of talk about cool things that happened this week. I got a crazy cool thing that happened this week. Matt, do you know what it is?
Man.
I think we did talk about it.
I think you formed Sentient Life.
We, my wife and I had our firstborn baby boy on Monday at 8:02 in the morning. Little Optimus Galactus Xavier Schulitis was born 9 pounds. And
it rolls off the tongue.
Well, I mean, Galactus is a really powerful name, I was thinking. And
it is a strong name for comic book fans. I don't know if people would know it outside of the comic book.
And then we just say it's ethnic. We'll say it's Lithuanian.
It's Galactus. It's good with a little apostrophe. It's Galactus. Yeah.
Galactus Schulitis. So obviously that's probably not the name, but yeah. So I'm officially on paternity leave, but I couldn't stay away from doing the show.
Come back to join us.
Well, it's been a fun week. And this is a fun way to end the week. How about you, Matt? What's new in you? And thank you everyone for saying congrats. That's really sweet of you.
And we announced it on the Shaker Show last night too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, super. I'm still beaming. It's if for those of you who have kids, for those of you who don't, it's a very, very, very crazy experience. And it's awesome.
How crazy?
Very crazy. I caught the baby. I caught the baby when it came out. So I was like the first to touch him, which is it's crazy. I haven't washed my hands since, so.
That's
and I touch all my comic books afterwards.
Has anyone in this today's age, you should give a kid like their gaming handle now, right? Like, hey, you're known as Jeff, but your real name is Comic Lover 74.
They should. Yeah, that would make more sense. But then it would be Comic Lover 111567.
Right. So look, this is your gamer name. This is going to stick with you for life.
Yeah, it's like your Apple ID. You can't lose it.
Right.
How about you? How was your week, dude?
I did not form life out of my body.
Well, you did that in the past, so that was okay.
Yeah, we did that. That is old news. No, just all we're doing is gearing up for Christmas. So kind of one of the points of the show, we'll do our normal thing and kind of cover some of the topical things of the week. But we're kind of gearing up to the end of the year. So this is actually our last Comics Covered of 2025. 2024, sorry.
Yeah, we're not doing anything in 2025.
My head's already into 2025, which is good because it takes me usually like 4 months to stop writing 2024.
Oh, really? That always happens to me with my birthday and like New Year. I'm always like, am I a year older? And because I start thinking about it, I'm like, wait, no, I'm still okay.
Right. And then you got to Google, how old am I?
That hasn't happened to me yet, Matt.
Oh, it was just me then.
Oh yeah, I'm Collector 34. Happy Friday the 13th. That's right. Today's Friday 13th.
That's right. Most importantly, though, aside from babies, aside from comic stuff, today is Tay-Tay's birthday as well.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Why do you think she loves the number 13 so much?
Okay. It's also, if you go to a tattoo parlor, supposedly a lot of tattoo parlors give away free tattoos on Friday the 13th. Usually it's like the same one that they just do over and over again, but some of them stay up till like 4 in the morning, or I guess that wouldn't be Friday the 13th anymore, until 12 at night, just working all day, giving away like a little free tattoo if you want one. So if you want one, yeah.
The tattoo by a sleep-deprived artist at 4 in the morning. Nothing could go wrong.
We should do the Cover Price logo as a tattoo. Matt, we haven't. Why don't we have Cover Price logos?
Derek said, "If you're here, Taylor, happy birthday." So Taylor, if you're watching, happy birthday. I'm sure she's on.
She is a fan of the show. She is, and then all of a sudden we have 1 million users.
we could use some Taylor effect. I would take it.
Yeah.
But
we're wrapping up the year.
Yeah, so we're just gonna take you lightly some of the stuff we have going on for the year for 2025. Some of the stuff we'll do over Christmas. We're going to be a skeleton crew in terms of new content. There won't be a ton coming out, but I kind of plan to jump on other people's shows, I think, or maybe do a few shows. I never get the time to do that, so it'll be nice to kind of take the time to do that. So we'll just kind of cover that pretty much. The one thing, just in terms of our shows on this channel, is so we'll have the top 10, we'll have the Shaker Show. With the Shaker Show, we also tend to show some of the features at the end of the show, and a lot of people miss just looking at all the books that are shaking in the Shaker section. And we're going to go back to that format of just showing that stuff and not going too deep into the features. And we'll always save kind of that stuff for here. Obviously, if there's some big update, we'll kind of highlight that stuff on maybe one time when those happen on the other shows. But we're going to keep those shows very focused to what it is: top 10 show, Shaker Show. And then this is kind of like the old broad spectrum of everything else.
Yeah, that's fair. That sounds fun.
Terry said he actually succeeded. I'm forgetting how old he was, and it was great.
And then my stupid sister made her jump. I have a twin sister, so she always tells me how old I am. And yeah. By the way, what are we doing today in terms of the giveaway?
I already forgot the number. I have it right here. 308. So right here. What is it? I love that they put it on the back. It's so easy. It's G.I. Joe. What?
308.
Yeah, 308 Eastside Comics, John Royale cover. This is actually on Beyond Wednesdays, Brian McClay's one of his covers of the year. Royal is he is kind of like the modern day definitive G.I. Joe artist. You go to any of those IDW books, and every expensive book in that run is a Royal cover. So Royale was cheese. The Royale, that's right, Johnny Royale. It could be. You say a lot of these names in your head so many times that you have your own in-head pronunciation, and then you say it out loud and you get corrected. You're like I still can't say Warren Liu. I know it's Warren Liu, but I can't do it. It's Warren Lau to me forever, and I know that's his name, and he deserves to have his name said correctly. But yeah, Terry, you're right. He does a lot of good Zenoscope covers.
That's cool. So this is limited. It's virgin. It's limited to 600. So we'll be giving that away at the end. So yeah,
that I think it's a portal behind her, but it looks like the Death Star.
It does look. I was just thinking that one more time. It looks I'm
sure it's kind of. I'm sure it's intended.
Well, as G.I. Joe starts going into space for the Transformers and Void Rivals, it's probably going to look more Star Wars-y in terms of their tech.
Maybe.
That's cool.
Yep.
Stick around to the end for that. And do you want to jump into the site? Do you want me to share?
My internet seems to be. I actually called AT&T and it was like WTF, and things seem to be a little.
They were like, turn it off and turn it back on, Matt.
And I was like, why the face? Is what that stands for, if you guys don't know. Right? I think that's correct. Why the face?
By the way, you comic capsule winners from last week, I despite having a baby, I sent out your prizes.
That's pretty impressive because you're much faster and more efficient.
I actually included a shirt for you each, I think, as well as swag, because everyone's asking for that. So
Mr. Generous over here.
Hey.
All right, so just some top stuff. So what was crazy last week to me, just a little top 10 review, is how Spawn found his way to the number one spot. Like out of all the monster heat, the Venom heat, all the absolute heat, Spawn still found his way to the number one spot. And it was even like after we were double checking that, like when the script runs for the top 10, we're like, wait, is this right? Is that right? Like this.
Well, the thing is, like, people don't know Spawn is always in the top like 50 of comics that are selling, always. And it's like when we first started Cover Price, it was funny because it was just like Spawn kept hitting the list. We're like, no one's gonna believe this. They're gonna think we're all like Spawn fans, which we are. But like it, I haven't seen it at number one though in like 8 years.
Well, it's like Malibu. Anytime it rains in Malibu, it's gonna flood, right? Anytime it just happens. It's like guaranteed. So anytime the wind blows and any type of news towards Spawn's way, it trends.
Well, I mean, it was interesting news though. This was definitely Spawn worthy. With what issue 306? No, 301.
Yeah, I forget the issue, but yeah, Todd's coming back. So I mean, but it's just fascinating that was enough to put it on the top spot. I mean, we went into monsters heavily last week, so we don't really need to go into it in much depth. But what's notable is Absolute Batman fell for the first time since its release off the top 10, so it's now in spot 11.
Nobody's mad at that. I mean, he made his run. It was good. It's still a great series.
Some of people's frustration with our top 10 is that it can feel a little stale when something's super hot. And the problem with it is like it's on there because it's still super hot. It's like, and our writers would be like, I don't know what else to say about this. It's really hard to write about it every week. Believe me, we love a new list every week. But there's been about 8 times when there's a book that just dominated the list and stayed there for months. Batman Damned, First Punchline.
Batwang, the Batman.
What did I say? Batman? Did I say Batman Beyond? No.
Did you say Batman Damned? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Batman Damned. Yeah. That shadow penis sure was hot. So, and so many, you can take that whatever way you want. So
Matt still flips through it sometimes just to
see. There's a gamer tag, shadow penis. You can give it to him when he's 18.
By the way, you're getting props for sending out your prices late because you give cool extras.
Yes, it always. Yeah, you get them late, you get extras.
Don't encourage him, folks. What are you doing?
Right. So that was kind of the top level. This was what was interesting about Galacta here was that it was kind of the flare of the Marvel Rivals heat. So Galacta was taken off because of Marvel Rivals, and in the digital trading card game, I'm blanking on the name of it, but she was also featured on the recent art for that, or was one of the main decks. But yeah, so Sheikah was kind of the flare, which kind of took like, we're now seeing, here's like our movers. We're seeing some stuff to trend like Jeff. We did it on the shaker list. Here's Jeff again. But here was the crazy part today, if you guys didn't know, and I guarantee you this will probably be in the top 3, if not number 1 next week. But it's Jeff number 1, $60 book. It just, like today, it went from a $15, $20 book to a $60 book. It's absolutely nuts. If you're not a Jeff and Galacta, if you're, what did I say? I'm not a Jeff and Galacta fan, but great if you are. So there is a conversation. A lot of people are having this conversation around. So Marvel Rivals is a very broad game. It's getting a lot of kids. Actually, if you're playing Fortnite, you can notice it's a little quieter in Fortnite lately. Because a lot of people are in Marvel Rivals, and it's all these kids or even adults are getting exposed to these characters for the first time. I really granted, kids are not coming and buying these at $60 a pop, but you know, they're, I mean, these aren't the only things moving. People are buying the trade paperbacks off of Amazon. They're buying digital copies. You know, the fact that they're interested in these characters is something we should definitely, as a community, support. You know, you should definitely, and I can't even say that $60 is a crazy price. I mean, I'm surprised because it's just cover A, and there's not, like, this is my favorite. This Dolly cover is my favorite of them, and it's still only like a $10 book, I think.
Well, that's an awesome cover. That is an awesome cover.
Yeah, this was my favorite cover.
What year was that?
Last year. Yeah.
I remember when it came out. I know you were like just fell in love with that character. You were mentioning.
I absolutely love Jeff. I love everything about Jeff. What did it for me was, here. Let's see if I can find it. I'm going to pull this off. But what did it for me? I think I showed this.
Izzy's on. He just said he called that a year ago too. He loved it.
What's the name of the girl, the red hair vampire hunter or monster hunter?
Bloodstone.
Bloodstone. Thank you. Jeez.
By the way, I have a topic after you're finished. That Collector 34 is asking about Sonyverse, but we'll get to that.
Oh yeah. So here, let's see if I can get to this. Okay, here we go. So this was one of my favorite things.
Also,
I forget what book this was.
Yeah.
But here she's like, Elsa Bloodstone's giving this, talking about how she is responsible to kill monsters and hunt monsters, and like she's debating whether or not she's got to kill Jeff. She has to do this. Basically, it's this big diatribe of what her responsibility is of killing monsters. And he's like, you may be one of those dodgy things, Jeff, so you need to behave. And he just looks at her and tilts his head, and she's like, I will kill anything that tries to hurt you. And it was like this exact panel that I felt that I also fell in love with Jeff, because I love that they're just leaning into it. And what's great is he's not, I know he's OP in Marvel Rivals, that's what people are saying, but he's an indestructible baby land shark. Like that's all the power he needs of being adorable and indestructible. So I'm on the Jeff train completely. I have one copy of his first appearance. That's it. I do not have any copies of his Jeff, though I highly regret not doing now that it's selling for $60. I didn't buy this one because I really didn't expect this would ever. I was expecting that people would go to these early appearances and these early covers. I really didn't expect these books to do what they're doing right now. Like this being a $60 book is absolutely nuts.
It is. Let me switch topics for you for a second.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, Collector 34 said, is this the end of the Sonyverse? Biggest news of the week. Morbius, Madam Web, Craven. I gotta say, the first 8 minutes that they showed, I thought it looked cool. I don't know anything else about it though. I've been out of the loop. Is it just a big turd?
Yeah, people said it's terrible. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it, but I know our friend Coy Jandrew gave his quick review, and he's like the most positive person about like even the most mediocre. Like, he's always very, very nice to most content. Like, even if it's not great, he'd be like, I went in there, I had a great time, I enjoyed it. Is it a perfect movie? No. Like he'll give a good spin. He's like, look, it's just fun. This one, he was like, I'm a little disappointed.
Oh no.
So yeah, this one, Sony announced that they're it's not stopping, but they're putting them on hold. I mean,
but what's not to love? Taking a tried and true character, completely changing his story, and making him completely different from what everyone loves. How's that not going to work?
I mean, I do have insider knowledge of that because I talked to all those people that were involved in this, and it was even the person that ran the brand. The person who ran the brand said that he was given the brand not knowing a thing about Spider-Man. Then there's Avi Arad and Amy Pascal. Amy Pascal used to be the studio head, and Avi Arad used to be the head of Marvel Studios, and then he moved on to being a producer. They said the two of them, even themselves, don't know too much about Spider. Like Amy Pascal doesn't know a lot about Spider-Man. She just kind of attaches herself to this stuff. So you have all these like dominant personalities, these high, powerful people in the industry, just wanted to do these high-profile projects because they can. And then you bring in a director with an opinion, and you bring writers with an opinion, and you bring in actors, and then you have the studio heads trying to say, you know, they purposely don't want to steer content towards comic book fans because they think they know better than what the comic fans know. They don't like to do fan service at all. It's really like they want to make the most straightforward, broad spectrum. Anyone can jump into it and not know anything about it. And it's always a mistake every time when they did that. And I think it just finally caught up to them. It was kind of like what Fox was doing with Fantastic Four and the X-Men. You know, creatively, they just were running out of gas by the end. They kind of drained what they could out of it, and they didn't know what else to do. You know, and you get to this point where you're backed into a corner, and you just got to be like, we got to stop, right? The thing is, they can't stop making Spider-Mans because if they stop making Spider-Mans, I think it's every 3 years they have to have a new release. Or the rights revert back to Marvel. So legally they have to.
Does Miles count as a Spider-Man movie?
What's that?
Does Miles, the whole
if it was a Spider-Man film, it counts. I think, but core Spider-Man has to be used in some capacity. So they couldn't just kill off Tom Holland and then replace it with Miles. I don't think it would work that way because Miles is considered a different character aside from Peter, but he is still part of the owned properties of Sony, of the characters that Sony owns. So if I was going to do it my way, if I here's my pitch, and actually I should send this to them. My pitch is that at the end of Edge of Spider-Verse, the very end of it, they go into they save their universe. End of the day, everyone's happy. They cross over and they walk into the MCU universe as live action versions of themselves. And now you have these live actions. You have like Spider-Punk, Miles, Spider-Gwen in our MCU world. Now trying to now they're stuck and they got to navigate that world. Then that would be fun. And then you bring in the Inheritors and who's the head of the big bad on Inheritors? I'm blanking on his name. Is it Ezekiel? No, that's not Ezekiel. Someone help me. Whatever the big bad for Inheritors are. But that would be fun to bring in the Inheritors and then push those characters into Secret Wars, and then Secret Wars they could kind of revert back to their own world.
You should make movies, Matt.
But that would be my pitch, is if just lean into the Spider-Verse stuff, because that's what we want to see. That's what people are having fun with, and that's what they're doing well. It's fun to see this variety of characters. I think that's where Marvel dropped the ball. Is we are so used to seeing all these characters interact with each other in a big way, and then they went back into these solo, their own silos. Like there was no one in Eternals other than I don't even know if anyone popped into the Eternals, but there wasn't a very connected world in Phase 4. So
they had Derek saying that they had a Sinister Six on ice, and there was a Lizard solo song at the finale. And
I mean, they've been trying to do Sinister Six for a while. That was where they were going. I mean, I read the script for the canceled Black Cat and my God, what's Silver Sable. They had a solo film with Silver Sable and Black Cat as these international, kind of James Bond-esque female spy superheroes. That was a terrible script. It was, so we were lucky we didn't get that. And then there was the Olivia Wilde Spider-Woman project that was supposed to happen. That was supposed to be with Spider-Woman. Yeah, she was going to do her own project, and then and then she got divorced, and there was this whole big thing, and she kind of stepped away from the project. But they've been trying to navigate this well of characters, and it's just
Well, but then we have stuff like Venom that hits, and it's fun, and it makes a ton of money, and they just go, oh, okay, it's like circular logic. They just kind of reinforce themselves, saying, yeah, we can make an amazing movie. It's not that we have to follow.
No, we talked about it. Venom was a mess from development to on. Venom was a mess. They put out the trailer, and some of the comments were, Venom better not show up in the last quarter of the movie, and that was exactly what was going to happen. In the original, Venom wasn't going to show up until the last, almost the late into the last half, and then they had to go back and do all these reshoots, and all the testing audience were not into it, and so they made him funnier. That's why if you watch the movie, there's kind of an acting disconnect to some of the things Venom says, because they had to completely rewrite.
There's like a buddy cop kind of situation,
It was a mess, and they were just prepared to this was going to be a bomb. And when it was a success, they were just patting it.
They're like, we knew it.
Yeah, they were like, we're geniuses. Then they tried to do the same thing on purpose for Venom 2, and they just couldn't do it because it was like a happy mistake. Anywho, it
stumbled bass backwards into it, and then when they tried to do it,
they've been fumbling around in the dark trying to pull this stuff together. The only ones that knew exactly what they were doing was the animation team, and they were on their own, completely separate from whatever Columbia Pictures, the live action stuff was doing. They purposely said, stay in your lane, we'll stay in our lane.
How many years has it been since you worked for them now? It's been what, 4 or 5?
Yeah, we went on our own with Cover Price, and I went full time with this 2021. Man,
right? I mean, we launched in 2018 and started the company in 2016. Yeah. So you can't get sued, right, for saying any of this?
It's not secret. It's all well documented. Everyone knows this. A lot of this is all public knowledge. So yeah, it's not secret stuff. So it's just. You talk to anyone that did it. Anywho, so, and it's not it's clear that they don't know what they're doing.
I think Collector 34 nailed it. We just need Nicolas Cage.
Right, it would be great. A blind hog finds an acorn every now and then. Yeah, Venom 3. I haven't watched Venom 3. I wasn't feeling it. I didn't go to it, but.
I watched, Matt and I were just talking about this the other day, Creature Commandos, and Matt was saying he's not really following any of the DC animated stuff, and I was like, it's good. All the DC stuff.
I got to get back into the animated stuff. There's something that happened when you have kids and you watch so much animated stuff, it completely deteriorates animated stuff. That your interest in watching anything animated is dead,
dude.
But so I did enjoy X-Men 97, and I did enjoy Invincible. So I did watch those. So I gotta get out of here right at 6:30. So we'll keep going here a little bit.
All right. I was gonna say my biggest joy right now is that someday I'm gonna get to play lightsabers with my my son. That's exciting. But I have to wait 5 years or 6 years.
Hopefully he might be like, Star Wars. It's so lame, Dad. Yeah.
Oh no, my God! Oh, you are the son of mine.
One of the things we have, this is just a little preview. One thing we're going to launch during Christmas break, though, even though we're not doing a lot of our regular content, we're releasing this one of our evergreen articles, Comic Book to Screen Status Report. So what this is going to be is it will be one article that will constantly update. So if you ever want to go and find out what comics that were you'd be like, I thought this was option. You'll now be able to go alphabetically and say look up titles and see what status they're in, and all the news and the direct connections to the articles that were last shared for those projects. So you can kind of and then we have we'll do some reporting on ourselves and talk to the creators in the studios, and also confirm on our own of what status they are, and we'll have our own exclusive updates on here.
So this is awesome, because you were saying a lot of this stuff gets talked about and then forgotten, This will be your Rosetta Stone of figuring out what's happening with a project that was talked about 3 years ago. It'll live in one spot on the site. You can use our search in the content section. You can use search and just search for it, or it'll be for evergreen actually. And Matt and his team are just going to research this, add it, research it, add it, and
So this is going to be constantly updating. We have a lot more to add. A ton more actually.
Sorry, thank you, Terry. That's a great idea. I'll have him grow his little Padawan braid early.
Yeah, you might as well. So that's something we're working on now. I think this will be a good, because one of the frustrating things is trying to find this information anywhere online is impossible. And if you do find like things that are optioned, they're articles that were like from 2021. So we think this will be a good source to kind of just keep constantly up. Anytime something's updated, we'll constantly add it to here.
I mean, this is going to become infinitely long eventually, but we'll find ways to help you navigate it and make.
Yeah, there'll be jump points where you could go jump out.
I mean, some of this. I mean, content takes years to get produced and stuff, so it could be 5 years. I mean, maybe there's a cutoff where we say anything over 10 years. Well, that's a good problem to have. We won't worry about it.
Well, I mean, there will be a point where it's interesting to even keep things. Like, hey, it's been 10 years, like where there are certain projects that I know. For example, one thing that I know that's stuck in development hell is Hack Slash. So Hack Slash was optioned by Universal, or it was I think it was Warner Brothers, and then they sold it to Universal, and then Universal was making a film, and then they sold the rights of the property to Relativity. And then Relativity was trying to shop it as either a TV show or a film. And then Relativity went out of business, and then they got liquidated. But then the rights got split. So the film rights went one way, and the TV rights went another way. So like I was talking to Tim Seeley about this, and I was updating him on where the rights were at what company. Because like they have no clue. He was like, I had no clue on where this stuff is. And I don't even think the people that own the properties know that they own the property. So it's kind of like, because it was liquidated and when they just bought the entire library. So everything that was in development or optioned or released and like all that stuff gets just bundled together. And they usually just want it for the library of stuff that's been released, because you can constantly keep putting them out. And they really don't do much with the things that were optioned or developed. So it was purchased. So when you purchase something, they own it for whatever length of time until it gets transferred to another company. So stuff like that, you would have to follow that paper trail, and it took me 3 months to follow that paper trail. But it is one of those things where it gets super convoluted and super complicated. It's just that's how entertainment stuff works. Entertainment. It's always been complicated, and now it's especially complicated as studios are slowly changing their ways forcefully, and everything is powered by streamers, and even they're kind of locked down to their budgets because you can't make more than the audience you have. The money that they bring in, you can't overproduce. Anywho, so that's kind of some of the stuff we're doing over break. We're also going to be doing a giveaway for the week of Christmas.
Yeah, we're just FYI, we're trying to give the team a little bit of a break over the holidays, because we said one thing we'd always do if we ever started a company would actually honor some of these holidays and give people so they don't have to work. We do have a skeleton crew on, and we do have, the sales, the updates and all that stuff will be, 100%, updated. Of course, that's actually our priority. But so we're going to slow down on some of the content just for the holiday break. But like Matt said, we'll be doing a giveaway. We just did one. We're learning how to use Gleam better. And so paying members get like a little, what is it? Not token, a password to get extra points or entries. But that one was pretty cool. We had 30 something thousand entries.
We had 30,000 entries.
Yeah.
Awesome. It was kind of crazy. So there's the link to Cyber Monday and winners. You can also go to our Instagram, and here it is. So it was, we just did their first name, last name. Wayne H, Sheldon W, Omar M, Walter F, Chris B. But each person was emailed as well for the winners. So yeah.
Cool.
Congrats to those who won. These are some good books. So
that was pretty cool. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, keep checking out Cover Price. Check your emails. Also, one other thing we're going to be doing in the new year, I was going to do it, but then had a baby, so now I'm kind of taking a little bit of time. But we are segmenting our email group so that you guys can decide what type of emails you want instead of getting them every day. If you don't want them, we know that can be a little overwhelming for some. You guys listening all love it, of course, because I mean, who doesn't want like Cover Price emails every single day?
Every single person here is not only a paying member, but they read everything we produce, I assume, and watch everything we do. Which is nice.
That's the only reason we do these giveaways, and I put the like and subscribe at the bottom here. But yeah, so we're always going to try to be doing stuff, and obviously it's the end of the year. Next year is going to be pretty amazing. A lot of big stuff. Like I said, we're completely relaunching the database. We're redoing it and shifting it over to a new one, so the site's going to be super performant by first quarter of next year, meaning it's going to be lightning fast. And
even next week we have a big update coming. That's going to change a lot.
Well, we're gonna test it out first to make sure it's all working accurately. But this update, just to give it a little preview, it's going to increase the amount of sales that we're able to gather by 250%. That means that, I mean, we already capture a ton.
Well, not gather, but match, because we gather everything, but the problem is the system is if you guys have ever read anyone's listing and how they list a book, it's always very nuanced, right? People will forget to put in the word CGC, or they'll leave out the full title, or they'll call things like Darth Vader #3 or Star Wars Darth Vader naming conventions are never the same. So anyway, Sean, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're Terry's Bob Ross, by the way. That's awesome.
What's that? Oh.
The kids, Matt had a really deep voice, and everyone would make him
do
your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, 2025, we literally have a full pipeline of new features and stuff coming. So yeah, we're super excited. We love doing this, and it's so cool to be fans and actually creating a product that people can use, that we just try to constantly sharpen and refine. You're the Bob Ross of comics. I like that. That's a good.
There you go.
And a merchandise shop. Sorry, Matt, but a merchandise shop will launch in the first week of the new year or so. So hats and shirts.
There you go. Yeah, we are gonna. You can actually buy hats, sweaters, and shirts and stuff. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And wanted to just share. Yeah, read our Shaker report this week. It was really fun. If you guys haven't seen this book, it is the father of all comic books. So definitely read up on that one. It was a fun one. There's just a lot of good stuff that you probably have seen before. Some stuff you've never seen before. Maybe books that what's crazy is Emily the Strange was on our top 10 2 months ago, and then books just disappeared, and now it just hit a high of 756 in a 9.8. If you would have told me that Emily the Strange would be an almost $1,000 book, there's no way. But again, here's the world we're living in. It goes, rarity often dictates the price, right? Rarity and demand. And when those two come together, you get these high prices. So that this is how these things work. This is one of my favorite art trim covers. If you guys haven't, this is a Flash Rebirth variant. Jackie Gleason, for any of you Honeymooner fans, I know everyone out there is still watching the Honeymooners every day.
Very, very topical. Very good.
Very, very topical. You'll know the catchphrase, and away we go.
Is that Pow to the Moon or something?
Well, that was Pow right to the kisser. Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, back 1950s humor.
Totally. Talking about beating your wife as a joke. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff. This crypto newsstand is going. Swamp Thing's daughter is trending.
Real quick, I didn't know that she was it's the daughter of Constantine and
so
Constantine.
it was. So the story in this Swamp Thing in this issue, so Swamp Thing's wife is the daughter of Constantine. So his wife was the daughter of Constantine, and then Swamp Thing obviously got it on with this lady, and then they have their daughter, who's what's her name?
Elfa.
But so Teffy Holland is the daughter of Abigail Arcane. But Abigail Arcane's biological father is John Constantine. I believe that's how it was. But I believe it was retconned later on, and I could be completely wrong here. That it was retconned that Don Constantine was Teffy's actual father. I believe that's how it went.
I heard a weird thing about John Constantine. Who is it? Gaiman who created Constantine, or who is the creator of John Constantine?
Well, he was introduced into, I believe, Alan Moore.
Yeah, I heard that the intent of the creator, whoever it was, I can't remember, wanted him to age in real time.
Yeah, right. Alan Moore. Yeah, it was right. I was right.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Ooh, good job. You know what I mean? They wanted that, which I thought was really cool but I don't know if they kept to it, but they wanted him every year to get a year older. How old would he be? What was the first Hellblazer? He'd probably be 60 something. Well, no.
Well, he was introduced into Swamp Thing. So it was around this time he was introduced in the earlier than this. I believe it was like 85 when he was introduced.
Yeah. That was
yeah, he's been around for a while. I believe Teffy was retconned as Constantine's daughter, but I could be completely wrong. And please tell me if I am. We covered this last week. We showed it to you, and then it started going crazy and hit $100 this week. This is the first interior art. This is the first professional work by
Mark Spears.
And like you look, if you read, if you can like just look up "Read Ultiman Giant Annual" and you can read it. You can find this issue digitally. And his art's very very golden age. It feels very right, perfectly right in line with what was developed in the what was happening in the golden age. So it's not the style that if you come looking for his monster stuff, it's definitely not that. But it was very well done. I was impressed. It's actually really great art.
I always get amazed when I see Scotty Young not doing like the babies stuff, and I'm like, oh, he's an amazing artist. Like that's really fun.
I mean, as an artist, when you find a niche and something that you can capitalize and make your own thing and have your own brand, you'd be dumb not to do that. Like, and that's how Campbell and Scotty and trying to think of anyone else. I'm sure there's plenty. When John Tyler Christopher, he had the action figure variants, he had the negative variants, and when you find your thing, you keep doing it until people stop buying them.
Before we continue, Matt, let me just put out real quick for the giveaway. Sure. So everybody remember we're giving away what was that? G.I. Joe 308, was it? I think it was 308. Limited to 600. Awesome Baroness cover by Mr. Royale. Yeah. So we're gonna give that. All you have to do, you have to guess what the hashtag is. No, it is Royale. So type that into the comments, and you will be entered, and we'll do a drawing at the end.
And not Royale with cheese.
Not Royale. That will not work. That will not work.
I did want to show what was interesting. I kind of forgot about this, but this, if you ever come across a Vampirella series from 2014, 2015, it's actually worth noting that Jenny did the the B cover, and then some incentive variants. Actually, what's fun is you can actually go in and just say freeze on and drill down
in cover price, allowing you
we're gonna do this stuff on our show, not the Shaker show. But you can see she did it all the way to issue 13. And I would expect that this was probably going to be one of the hardest ones to find. But yeah, these covers are fantastic. Someone said that they like these. Who said that? Someone said they like that they Terry said it. Stuff she's been out lately. I don't know. I disagree. I think her. Anytime an artist gets really popular, they often get stretched too thin, and you're gonna get. This is like what happens with Momoko. Some covers are gonna be on their game, and some covers are going to be a little less on it. This is where she was, kind of starting off and proving herself, right? So, it definitely, like, I love this is like kind of like an early negative variant. Whoa.
Yeah, easy.
That was not intentional. But yeah, like, look at these books. So if you ever come across this run, definitely don't leave these behind. Any of the covers, the B or the variants. The variants are extremely rare, but the B covers are all $30, $40, $50 books. As the normal, not even the version, just the normal A covers. Someone I know has this book. It's limited to 25 copies. I have a 9.8. I'm trying to buy it. And he's
How much
like,
are you offering, out of curiosity?
well, it's hard to price because the last 9.8 was like a year ago, and since then raws are going for that same price. So like, it's probably, I would say a 9.8 is probably worth about $900, $800 for this book.
Wow.
But it's limited to 25. It is probably the rarest Jenny Frieson cover.
So is that's your motivation? A big Vampirella fan?
Well, I appreciate the aesthetics. Like everyone said, who reads Vampirella? It is.
I feel like
her backstory is really interesting. Like she's an alien, an alien vampiress who came to Earth, and she is an interesting character. And yes, I don't know. I have not read this series. I did read some, but it's been quite a while, and I couldn't even tell you which ones they were.
Can you go to the top real quick? There was another low print run right there, that rare one for.
Yeah. A lot of these versions. Whoa, geez, Louise.
But that's when that works. It works too well.
It works way too well. This was also. This was limited to 50.
But if you click off of it, we can see the price right there. It's so it was about 300 to 100. And go back down to yours that you're interested in. I'm curious if there's any sales for it.
Well, there are, but it's basically like I think it's 9.8. The last sale raw was $455, and then
did you know, Matt? If you go back to that other page, you can click on the price table button right next to it, and you don't even have to go into the thing. You can just see it all right there.
There you go. I don't do that. I should see. But I'm trained in the old ways.
You're trained in the old ways, my friend.
A little hard to adopt these new things.
I know, it's funny. We update so many things so fast. Like this was a recent update that Matt doesn't know about. Maybe.
No, I know about it. It's just one of those things. I'm so used to I'm so trained to click on the title.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, there's just
that's the only reason I call it out, because I'm assuming somebody else doesn't know that either. So I'm just calling it out.
No, it's good. I forgot as well. It is super handy.
Yeah.
Anywho, I feel like we're like bad. Like we're trying to. This was something that we planned out. Some bit.
No, it would be a very bad bit.
I think what else we got. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of some of the topical things of the week. I mean, right now sales are slow. Everything slows down up until Christmas because people are kind of waiting for their Christmas money, their gift cards. People probably have a lot in their wish list. And then it's funny, like literally the day of Christmas, there's like a boom in sales because everyone just starts buying stuff that they've been waiting on buying. And we kind of just tell, like, if you have things that you've like saved in your cart that you haven't pulled the trigger on, don't be surprised if they disappear on Christmas Day and the day after, because it definitely happens. It's one of our biggest sale tracker days.
Out of curiosity, for everyone leaving comments and stuff, what is on your biggest thing? If you were to get a comic book to end 2024 right, what comic would you guys have gotten? And also keep entering the hashtag Royale if you haven't already. We're at 21 entries, but there's about 40 people watching or so, 38 people.
What was their biggest FOMO book? Is that what you're asking for 2024?
Yeah, like what was their biggest FOMO book that they wish they got but maybe didn't? What was yours, Matt?
I really would have liked that Absolute Batman Akira.
I was just gonna say that. You're in my head, man.
No, I mean that was, we had it in our hand, but we gave it away. Like we had a copy, we gave it away. And by the time we got to it, they were long gone. So it wasn't like, hey, we'd also like to buy some. So it wasn't even an option.
Yeah.
For me, the big one was we talked about the Mark Spears Monster Kickstarter. It was our very first Kickstarter article. And I thought about buying into it, and I do what I do, and I hum and ha, and I didn't. And it's just like those books are so pricey, man. Like it's one of those things where I've just it was a fairly pricey Kickstarter to go into, but clearly it would have been worth it. So that was probably my big miss, I would think, because so many of those covers, I knew they were gorgeous and I knew I loved them then. I did not expect monsters to happen the way that they did. Like there's always like, oh, I'll just get in the aftermarket, when they hit. That was not the case here. So you live and learn. If you really want something, you got to sometimes pull that trigger. If you can financially afford it, that's the key right there. Make sure you're smart about how you spend and what you spend your money on. Sometimes you got to learn to walk away. You gotta chime in old Kenny Loggins. Right? Was that The Gambler? The Gambler.
Yeah, The Gambler. So Karen's FOMO book of the year was the Spawn Moko. That was a cool one. That was a really cool one.
Well, I mean, that was a crazy, like, we were at New York Comic Con. We were like, well, maybe we'll get in line. And we instead went to a crazy breakfast with live singers.
Yeah, that's right.
That was that day. We were like, let's go like a nice quiet breakfast. And we went into this breakfast where like all the Broadway stars come out of. I forget what it's called. But it's right
we didn't realize it, and they sat us right underneath people, literally dancing above our heads, singing while we're eating pancakes. It was surreal.
Yeah. No, glitter came from you had to cover your food.
Confetti was falling.
that was the unexpected quiet.
I thought it'd be just a chill. I didn't know they did that, but
anyway. So we missed out on the hoopla. So that was a good book.
Oh, we have the memory, Matt. We have the memory. Chris is saying Something's Killing the Children #5 to finish the set. Yep, you got to finish those sets. You got to finish those runs for sure.
Interesting.
And Michael says he wanted Kenny Rogers for 2024. I guess just couldn't find him. And
I bet he's obtainable now.
I think you said Kenny Loggins.
Did I say Kenny Loggins?
Yeah, I think so.
They're exactly the same. One sings. Can't even think of a good. Didn't Kenny Loggins do the Top Gun theme song?
Yeah. No, it's Kenny Loggins. It's Kenny, one of the Kennys.
You guys just referenced The Gambler. Don't make me sing it, Michael. I was this close to singing it.
Nice, Lando. He was watching The Honeymooners. That's why he's like.
I was watching The Honeymooners.
Speaking of Rose Beach, that is definitely one of my favorites as well. But this is
the
Bash. I don't know. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Is that the one? I have a signed one, but it's something else. All right, let's do this. Should we do the drawing? If everybody's
last week, you should go into your comments. Someone has the same guitar as you.
I saw that. Yeah. Are you talking about the one on the wall?
They're not in the comments here, but I don't.
Yeah. That was. They called it something. I think it's actually called. There's a Swamp Dog and a Hound Dog version. It's a reverberator guitar or something. It's meant to be like do. I can't play very well. Put them on the wall. But it's meant to do slide guitar and stuff like that. It's a fun one.
Yeah. But we should do maybe during Christmas break we'll do a show of like what our favorite pickups were and our favorite misses. That would be a fun show just to do an entire show of that. So maybe we'll pop on during Christmas break and maybe we'll do that one night. Because that would be fun. We never show off stuff of what we buy and what we pick up. John and I are very different collectors. I'm like, even I feel like I'm a different like. I like weird. I like kind of off the radar stuff. So
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, I like the covers. I'm a cover collector, but at the same time, lately I've been getting into the stories, and now I'm back into series. So absolute stuff.
Well, you were always a reader first, then a collector. You bought all the trade paperbacks. And like
yeah. I mean, that's not even all of them, but yeah, like I have a whole thing over here too. You know, one of my, just real quick, Matt. You might remember this because I was with you probably when I bought it. One of my first comics was my trades anyway. Oh, where is it? I guess I don't have it right here. It was Emerald. There was that Green Lantern one. Emerald Dawn. Emerald Dawn was one of my first trades. I would love that one story.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. No. That early that 80s Green Lantern stuff that introduced Kyle Rayner. Oh, it was so good. Yeah, good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, all right. Top 100 based on member poll. Oh man, that's too much work. Yeah. I mean, but it'd be interesting. We could do something. Well, I'll think through it. Maybe
we got our act together. Maybe for 2025, we'll do a big member survey. Maybe we should do that each year. It's not only the cover price survey.
Yeah, we should. That's a good idea. We'll see if we can pull.
All the good ideas rise to the top here.
All right. I got to get my kid to the movie theater in like 10 minutes. So
give me a second. Let me share my screen and we will select the winner of tonight's amazing giveaway. Remember, this is the last show for the Comics Covered channel for us until 2025, giving everybody a little bit of a break. But we do have shows. Laura and the guys have the shows Tuesday and Thursday of next week, right?
Next week will be their last week. Yeah, they're going to take a break too. So, Lando, we are going to do a top 10. Basically, we do a year-end wrap-up where we go through the top 10 variants, the top 10 standard books, the top 10 books released in 2024, the top 10 most expensive books of the year. We do basically like 10 different top 10 lists that wraps up the whole year in a glance. And then we'll do a show on that on January 8th.
Yeah, Matt doesn't sleep for about a week, and then
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
But all right, here we go. We're gonna do the drawing. Ooh, we got one person. If you haven't entered yet, #Royale. Type that in. Give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, we got one. Okay, here we go. Drawing. Lucky winner for that Baroness cover, Mr. Royale.
It's funny, you see all the same names popping up. Oh, there you go. That's the new
one. Wait, I think Alamo won a while ago. No,
I don't know. Maybe.
Congratulations, though. Send us your shipping address to john@coverprice.com or matt@coverprice.com, and we will ship this out to you probably in the new year.
I'll have time. I'll have time before the new year. Yeah, okay. I got to get stuff out next week. So of all the people who want stuff from our Cyber Monday. So yeah, I'll get stuff out. Yeah.
Right on. Any last words, Matt?
Yeah, have a good Christmas break. If you don't see our faces until the new year, hopefully we'll pop on at some point. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Tell your friends, get them to sign up. Hopefully next week we'll have some. You'll see some big changes on. We'll hopefully notice some changes on the site. And yeah, we'll come back to it. Next week, enjoy the top 10 and the last top 10. And the last shakers of the year, and have a good break. Have a good holiday, Kwanzaa,
Hanukkah.
Yeah, it was like,
yeah,
whatever, or nothing. That's fine too.
But get into the holiday spirit. I mean, this is there's little markers in life that allow you to kind of just reflect on how awesome the year was, or even if you didn't have a great year, it's like it's still we learned, we grew. Thank you guys for making 2024 with Cover Price success, and we'll continue to make good products and good information for you guys as long as you guys are still interested. Keep signing up.
Humbug. That's still very Christmassy. So
yeah, you're on theme. But honestly, thank you so much for your support in 2024. 2025, I promise you, is going to be amazing. We have such cool things planned. The team's working. We're not never stop until we have babies. We don't stop working, and
you're here even with babies.
yeah, that's the point. See, we never stop.
There you go.
But thank you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday, and we love you guys. Thank you.
All right. See ya.
Bye.